May I request Mr. Jeff bless us with prayer.
Shall we bow our heads and pray? Our God and our Father in heaven, we are grateful this morning for giving us and the gift of your presence. Father God, as you've given us life this morning, we believe that there's nothing that you can withhold from each one of us today. We further thank you that you are the God of beginnings, for in the beginning was a word. The word was with God, and the word was God. So Father, now we invite you at the launch of the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus, bridging the gap between the youth and Parliament. Begin with us now and end with us. In Jesus' mighty name we've prayed. Amen.
Shall we get seated, please? The Right Honorable Madam Speaker, this is B.K. Nelly Muti, Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia. Honorable Malongo H. Sangano, MP, First Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. Honorable Frank Moyo, MP, Second Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. Ms. Jean Chisenga, MP, Chairperson of the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus. Honorable Members of Parliament. Mr. Martin Chungong, Secretary General of the Interparliamentary Union. Mr. Roy Ngluwe, Acting Clerk of the National Assembly. Ms. Nalucha Ziva, Country Director, Action Aid Zambia. Representatives from partners of Action Aid Zambia. The representative from the Norwegian Church Aid. The representative from Oxfam Southern Africa. Staff of the National Assembly. Members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my pleasure at this point in time to invite Mr. Ngluwe, the acting clerk, to give us his welcoming remarks. Mr. Ngluwe, sir.
Good morning, honorable members and invited guests. Good morning. Madam Speaker, I will start on a light note. I do not know what is behind the young parliamentarians, because in a very long time, and rarely do we have such a very good attendance in this place. So we may have to ask them for a formula. we don't know what is behind this chemistry. So I think there's a lot to learn from them. Madam Speaker, the Honorable First Deputy Speaker, the Second Deputy Speaker, let me simply adopt and write on the protocols already established by our Director of Ceremonies. Good morning once again. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of management of the National Assembly of Zambia, and indeed on my own behalf, I would like to welcome you to this launch of the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus. Let me also especially welcome our guests, especially those that are coming to the National Assembly for the very first time. Allow me once again, Honorable Speaker, to express our sincere gratitude to you, Madam Speaker, and honorable members of Parliament, for finding time out of your busy schedules to participate in this very, very important event. Allow me to seize this opportunity to briefly talk about caucuses in general and the importance in parliamentary work. As you are aware, Madam Speaker, caucuses are voluntary and informal mechanisms that are established to provide a platform for parliamentarians to promote identified common interests in Parliament. Though informal, These platforms benefit parliamentarians immensely as they allow them to collaborate and effectively acquaint themselves on critical current policy issues and other areas of interest that require members' attention. Further, caucuses also equip members with information which enables them to advocate for change in legislation of policy and to accelerate progress in their areas of interest. In view of the above, Madam Speaker, permit me to emphasize the fact that with coordinated effort, caucuses such as the one we are launching this morning can contribute and impact on the core functions of Parliament, government, and political processes, thereby shaping the agenda for national unity and development. Allow me also to mention that by their nature, that is the nature of caucuses, sadly we do not have a budget line from the National Assembly main budget to support their activities. As such, they secure the necessary resources to undertake their programs and projects from various sources, contributions and subscriptions, and sometimes wherever they can, from selling of branded materials like t-shirts and others. In this regard, I would like to urge our cooperating partners who are with us this morning, and thank you for coming, seeking their support to continue supporting the work of the various caucuses that have been established to operate within Parliament, and in a special way, to support and render support to the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus, especially if what we are seeing today is anything to go by. The National Assembly, despite not having a specific budget line to support caucuses, facilitates their work by providing parliamentary facilities to host some of their programs. And the hosting of this event, Madam Speaker and honorable members, is just one of those examples that we render in terms of support towards the caucuses. In addition, management through parliamentary staff provides the necessary administrative services through support by way of allocating a desk officer to provide the necessary administrative services. Suffice to mention, though, that apart from servicing these caucuses, staff on their own also greatly benefit from the various experiences that they draw from the caucus work through capacity building and others. Allow me, Madam Speaker, as I conclude, to reiterate management's readiness to support and accord the same support that we have accorded other caucuses to the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus. And we hope that we will continue to do so and urge the Secretariat, led by the N.A.B chairperson, to call on us whenever they need our support. With these few remarks, Madam Speaker, I thank you and wish the meeting success. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for those remarks. At this point in time, I request the representative from the Youthful Parliament, Nalishebo Sinyama, to come and deliver her remarks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Right Honorable Speaker, Madam Nelly Muti, members of Parliament present, representatives from government ministries present, representatives from government ministries present, representatives from embassies present, the Action Aid Country Director, Madam Nalucha Ngangaziva, representatives from civil society present, the youth, members of the press, distinguished guests, may I simply say all protocol be observed. Allow me to open by thanking the Speaker of the National Assembly for giving us an opportunity to be part of the launch of the Parliamentary Youth Caucus. Madam Speaker, Youthful Parliament is a social movement that was established in 2018 with the primary focus of increasing youth participation in politics and governance. The movement was established in 2018 when the young people discovered the gaps that young people were not participating in the political running of this country. Madam Speaker, the movement operates on a countrywide basis to activate the participation of youth in the political arena of this country at all levels of political governance. Madam Speaker, as a way of achieving its objective, Youthful Parliament uses grassroots mobilization to reach youth in different communities. The movement brings together youth to contribute to governance, and on the principles of high discipline and high morale. Madam Speaker, you may wish to know and note that the movement has over the past years built leadership capacity on a number of youth in different spaces of political leadership. In the run-up to the 2021 general election, Youthful Parliament did not only build capacity of youth candidates, it also provided material resource and also human resource that was deployed to support youth candidates. Madam Speaker, you may wish to know that I was one of the young people that was deployed to participate in the campaigns of young people in different provinces from different political affiliations. Madam Speaker, with the help of Action Aid Zambia, Youthful Parliament has over the past years built leadership capacity not only on young people in politics, but also young people belonging in different political parties. Madam Speaker, Youthful Parliament boasts to be one of the few, if not only the movement with members from different political parties serving as members of parliament, mayors, as well as councillors. Madam Speaker, you may wish to know that Honorable Jinchi Senga, the chairperson of the Youth Caucus, is a member of Youthful Parliament. Madam Speaker, post the 2021 general election that saw a great number of youth elected in Parliament. As a movement, together with the help of our partners, Action Aid Zambia brought together elected young members of Parliament to ideate the forming of the Zambia Parliamentary Youth Caucus. Madam Speaker, the Parliamentary Youth Caucus was formed to push the youth agenda on the floor of the House to bridge the gap between the youth and the National Assembly. As youth, especially those of us that are interested in politics and governance, we were elated by your announcement to approve the caucus. Madam Speaker, we are delighted as a movement that this caucus has been actualized, and we hope that the youth that belong to the caucus will push the youth agenda in the floor of the House. Madam Speaker, the very fact that you have given me an opportunity to address the launch of the caucus should be recorded as a success of the caucus. This is because it is rare for a young person like me, especially a young lady like me, to address such an event. Madam Speaker, Youthful Parliament will unapologetically continue to invest its efforts in the revolutionary struggle to disrupt the system built on the foundation of excluding youth. The misinterpretation that youth cannot lead and that youth lack experience, Madam Speaker, has hindered a number of young people to take up political position and take up the political running in this country. Madam Speaker, we hope that the Parliamentary Youth Caucus will be used to break these barriers that hinder young people from taking up leadership in all positions. Madam Speaker, in our quest to seek the representation in our quest to seek youth representation in all political positions in our country, Youthful Parliament remains unapologetic in the agenda of getting more young people elected, depending less of their political affiliation. Madam Speaker, we wish to appreciate the efforts of Action Aid in the forming of the Zambia Parliamentary Youth Caucus. Madam Speaker, we also want to thank civil society organizations that have shown interest in working with the Zambia Parliamentary Youth Caucus. Madam Speaker, we greatly, as a movement, want to appreciate the efforts of Madam Naluchangangaziba, the Country Director of Action Aid, for entrusting the young people and believing in the young people's talent to lead this country, and as a movement, pushing our agenda forward. Madam Speaker, our hope is that the Parliamentary Youth Caucus obligation and aim will remain youth-centered by all means. I thank you. Viva!
Thank you so very much, Madam Nalishe Senyama, for those remarks. At this point in time, I request At this point in time, I will request Wezi to give us a song. Yes, please. Thank you, sir. I know. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I hope there's some youthfulness in the way that we are greeting each other. Good morning, everyone. Okay, that's better. It's an honor and a privilege to sing to you today. I have two songs, and one of them is titled Lead with Love. I believe in the philosophy that if you are good to yourself, you will be good to others. Yes? And if our leaders can embrace the youth, it starts with self-love and being able to listen to the young people. So please enjoy this song.
You can change. Osazimbwila chifundo chikakupa emailo chikonko. Ungakonde chani muya konga chuzikonda lini weka. Ona mulungu ukaliozi ona weka. Self-love is the best love. Chikondi niweka, ungakonde tiani muya, kunga chuzi kondali niweka, ona mulungu ukaliozi onaweka. Self-love is the best love. Chikondi niweka, zisamba leweka, niye pamene unga samale bena. Zikonde weka, niye pamene unga konde mulungu. Lead with love, that's all we need. So many beautiful things we can achieve if all we do is lead with love. That's all we need. Divided we fall, united we stand. If all we do is lead with love. Yes, all we need is love. Thank you. I'd like to appreciate my young brother Joshua for playing guitar for me today. I also like to appreciate Action Aid for always having me share my art. And I hope that it sparks something positive in the people listening. This next song is titled Nyimbo Zako. It's my last song today. It's my encouragement to the youth to use their voices. Viva youth, viva! Viva youth, viva! Imba nyimbo zako.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Wezi, for those beautiful, beautiful songs. I was just being reminded that I'm a youth. And as such, I feel so energized to be a director of programs on the launch of Youth Parliamentary Caucus. So I feel energized, sir. May I request Ms. Nalucha Ziva, Action Aid Country Director, to come and deliver her remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, the Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, members of Parliament present. May I ride on the protocols already established? Allow me to start by appreciating the Honorable Speaker, Your Excellencies present, our cooperating partners, members of Parliament, government ministries and departments, members of civil society, as well as the youth present for availing yourself to the landmark event as we launch the first ever Parliamentary Youth Caucus in Zambia. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa's population was estimated to be above 1 billion in 2011, according to the United Nations, and is expected to double by 2050. Africa is the world's youngest continent, with over 70% of the population under the age of 30. Females make up slightly more than half of the African youth population, while rural dwellers outnumber the urban dwellers. Africa's young population is predicted to expand in the next years. In Zambia alone, the youth constitutes above 36.7% of the population between the age of 15 and 35 years. Ladies and gentlemen, youth face several unmarred and varied challenges which include low participation. Currently critical is the high unemployment rates. These challenges are a hindrance to Zambia's economic development. The current youth population poses a challenge to the question of youth participation, youth integration, and very minimal reference points of precedence exist to refer for solutions. From 2018 to 2022, as ActionAid Zambia, through our global platform office, which is a youth hub, supported by our cooperating partners, that is the Danish government through Danida, as well as the Swedish government through SIDA, have implemented an intense program to promote youth participation in civic and democratic spaces. Strategies employed include capacity building, engagement, as well as mentorship, partnership with youth-led organizations and social movements, including other supporting mechanisms. Among the many outcomes of this program is the increased participation of young people in Parliament aged under 35. This includes one female who also happens to be the chair of the caucus, and the over 100 youths who have been elected in local government across various positions. I will at this point acknowledge the pivotal role that the social movement known as Youthful Parliament has contributed to this outcome. And as the youth themselves say, shout out to Youth for Parliament. Additionally, another landmark outcome was the initiative and setup of the first ever Youth Parliamentary Caucus. As you witnessed the launch today, there have been several planning and pre-planning meetings which have taken place with the youth parliamentarians. And Madam Speaker, allow me to thank them for their time, as they have volunteered and usually been able to be meeting us even over the weekends when Parliament is not sitting to plan for this caucus in terms of deliberating its structure, how it should look like, what it should shape. And we started this process. It has been a journey of over 6 months. And they have been doing so not just because they are paid allowances, but without allowances as a result of their own effort and wanting to see the caucus best. At this juncture, allow me to congratulate the people of Zambia, more especially the young people, for participating actively in the governance process of this country and exercising their democratic rights. Ladies and gentlemen, the youth not only have the advantage of numbers, but the energy, the innovation, as well as dynamism that can be harnessed for Africa's development with appropriate policies that address the issues they face. As earlier alluded to, Zambia is not the only state facing the current crisis of youth bulge. It is envisioned through such steps and initiatives as the Parliamentary Youth Caucus that solutions will materialize to address the challenges. We especially congratulate the Speaker and the National Assembly in taking forward this initiative, whose existence signifies addressing youth potential is being placed as a priority on the developmental agenda of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, the caucus will serve as a means of conveying the youth agency through fulfilling the youth's practical as well as strategic interest in the legislative and policy-making arena. From the caucus, some of the expected outcomes include regional political processes that result in policies or legislative processes with agendas which accommodate youth interests. They are achievable through advocacy campaigns run by the caucus or through studies and research. We also hope to see raised constituency awareness on the issues that are promoted by members of the caucus in their constituencies. This awareness eventually leads to the strategic role of facilitating communication between government as well as civil society and communities. Also, an effective watchdog to monitor implementation of policies concerning issues of interest to youth participation and youth development in the country. They also serve as a mouthpiece to continuously promote issues that they stand for through the media and public advocacy campaigns, and also to strengthen the capacity of reliable legislators who can carry out the parliamentary functions, as well as create policies that are in the interest of the youth. Through the works of the Youth Parliamentary Caucus, we aspire to remain a beacon of hope to the rest of the world by addressing new solutions and to make Zambia a pioneer and a model in addressing challenges faced by the young people. We have already observed the recognition of this strategic body and willingness by other stakeholders to work with and support the caucus, and as such works are already underway. As ActionAid, we encourage such collaborations and concerted efforts that will lead to fulfilling the youth development agenda in our country, which is admittedly a mammoth task. Collaboration and dialogue as such is at the center of transparency and accountability and a part of the hallmark of good governance through promoting a culture of citizen participation, engagement, which is important in ensuring that governance is based on people's contributions. Ladies and gentlemen, we acknowledge and commend the government of the Republic of Zambia for the efforts made in trying to create opportunities for empowerment for the youth. There is need for transparency and accountability in management of youth affairs at all levels of governance to ensure effectiveness and efficiency in the access of opportunities by young people for all, regardless of them being urban or rural. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be part of this event which has brought the legislature, government departments, cooperating partners, members of the civil society and the youth themselves to witness the launch of Zambia's first ever Youth Parliamentary Caucus, but to flag off the beginning of bridging the gap between youth and policy making and policy influencing in achieving the youth development agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, the youth of Zambia have a lot of potential which, when properly harnessed, can significantly contribute to the development of our country, and this potential cannot be seen if they are not given platforms for participation as well as for contribution, to dialogue with their leaders and policymakers on issues that are key to them as well as showcase their capabilities. Therefore, it is important that we harness the demographic potential in order to reap maximum benefits and dividends from our youth. I thank you and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Naluchaziva. for those remarks. At this point in time, may I humbly request the chairperson of the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus, Ms. Jeannie Chisenga, Member of Parliament.
Madam Speaker, before I can proceed, kindly allow me to recognize the executive members of the Zambian Youth Parliamentary Caucus. May they be upstanding, please, so that they can be recognized. Emma Youth, the Right Honorable Madam N.A.B. Muti, MP, Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia, Honorable Malungo A. Chisangano, MP, the First Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia, Honorable Frank M. Moyo, MP, Second Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia, Honorable Cabinet Ministers and Provincial Ministers present, the Executive Committee of the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable members present, Mr. Martin Chungo, Secretary General of the IPU, Mr. Roy Ngulube, Acting Clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia, Ms. Nalucha, Country Director, Action Aid Zambia, representatives from partners of Action Aid Zambia, representatives from the Norwegian Church Aid and Dan Church Aid Joint Country Program, the representatives from Oxfam in Southern Africa, Zambia, staff of the National Assembly, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm delighted to be given this rare opportunity to address this August gathering at which the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus will be launched. From the outset, I would like to place on record my sincere gratitude to you, Madam Speaker, for the massive support that you have rendered to the caucus since its establishment in December 2021. In this regard, testament of your support is not only by your ability to spare time from your busy schedule to support this event, but also to graciously grant our request to establish this caucus. For this, we are sincerely grateful. Madam Speaker, permit me to also thank my fellow members of Parliament for volunteering to be part of the Youth Caucus. I fully understand that they are equally busy with various issues that require their time and attention. Therefore, I have no doubt that with the commitment they have shown, the caucus will achieve its objectives. Allow me to also thank the acting clerk and his staff for the administrative support that has been rendered to the caucus. In addition, let me also thank Action Aid through its Global Youth Platform for supporting this launch, not only for supporting the launch, but for also facilitating and actualizing the establishment of the caucus. Madam Speaker, my remarks will not be complete if I do not recognize and appreciate the instrumental role of the IPU, Interparliamentary Union, has played in concretizing the base for the caucus. Allow me, therefore, to thank the IPU through the Secretary General and the Youth Programs Manager who have joined us virtually on this momentous occasion for their steadfast support rendered to the caucus. Madam Speaker, you will be happy to note that through the support that the caucus has received from the aforementioned and other organizations, it has undertaken a number of activities aimed at laying a foundation for the successful implementation of subsequent activities. Some of the activities include the following. 1, the recruitment of members of parliament. At the moment, the caucus has 22 members, including the second deputy speaker, who have volunteered to join us to be part of the caucus. 2, adoption of a constitution to guide the operations of the caucus. 3, installation of an executive committee, which I'd earlier introduced, Madam Speaker. 4, capacity building workshops, both virtually and physically, on various topics relating to the youth. In addition, I'm happy to report that the caucus will, with support from the Norwegian Church Aid and Dan Church Aid joint country program, begin the process of developing its strategic plan. At this juncture, allow me to thank the joint country program through the country director, who is with us today, for the support they have rendered. In the same breath, allow me to urge other organizations to come on board to participate in the process so as to ensure that the strategic plan that will be developed will resonate with the desires of the youth and the wider society. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, permit me to echo the words of one youth activist by the name of Edem Abana, who said, and I quote, "Young people must have their voices heard at all times. We cannot be passive participants in the conversations about our future. We must get active and create the future the way we want it to be." As I agree with Abana, I would like to add that for young people to participate actively in creating their own future, formal platforms must be established for them. This is the reason why the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus was formed, to be a platform for the youth and youth-related organizations to engage in advancing the interests of youth in Parliament and in the country. Therefore, I urge all the youth and youth-related organizations to fully utilize this platform. With these few remarks, Madam Speaker, I would like to assure you that together we will definitely bridge the gap between the youth and Parliament. I thank you.
Thank you so very much, the Chairperson for Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus. At this point in time, we are going to have some entertainment. We have a dance troupe that is going to entertain us. The dance troupe, please. Thank you so very much. That was indeed lovely. The first song and the first dance, it is coming from a certain area where I happen to have been born from. Had it not been that I'm the director of program, I would have joined. May I call upon Raphael to come and give us a poem?
Good morning, everyone. Allow me to ride on the already established protocols. I go by the name Raphael Banda, and I'll be presenting a poem called Let's Connect. So my father and I had a conversation, then he asked me this. Son, what do you make of the relationship between the youths and Parliament? So without any hesitation, I said, I think we're distant lovers. But given the chance to feed on the same diet, I think this bond could be a lot more healthy. Dad. So I love to think of Parliament as a democratic restaurant. A place whose meals are designed to be served from the people, through the people, and back to the people. But we are not here to pursue your food vouchers or lunch dates, because these hungry and youthful bellies do not just want to dine at your tables. We want to be part of the kitchen staff. If possible, become chefs involved in the cooking process, chefs on the same page, paragraph, and line of the recipe book, chefs included in the ingredient picking process. And yes, I am aware that too many cooks spoil the dish, but this is more than just about the numbers, but rather about a representation proportionality. So we seek to build a reality where youth appear before Parliament committees to debate and cook bills that will end up becoming country laws. We want youths who will stand for our digestive system, youths who will suggest what is best for our stomachs, youths who will speak for our hunger, because no one tells our stories better than us, you see. A man standing on his 2 feet will never understand the pain and struggles of a man sitting on a wheelchair. As such, the disabled and the vulnerable need their own representation and their specific mouthpiece. So in as much as we encourage the youths to participate in national affairs, we also encourage the parliamentarians to stand up and leave their comfy seats, leave their air-conditioned offices, and come to the streets to teach, explain, and simplify National Assembly documents and make them more youthful, user-friendly. Because what's the 8th National Development Plan? Should we be concerned when you mention concessional debt? What do you even mean by passing the tobacco bill and wait. I think last month Zambia received an IMF package. Okay. We are dataless and starving. Information malnourished youth, but I believe comprehensive communication is the key step in opening this door to a journey of 1,000 miles. And when you both agree to walk in one step, in one accord, with both your feet and ours willing to stroll through this new path, we do not want a parasitic kind of friendship where we are only engaged during campaigns and elections. We want something symbiotic with equal benefits and engagement. So give us platforms, give us slots so that we can channel and television our thoughts through interactions with our area MPs. We want to know our leaders. We want to know our leaders and not just hear rumors about them. And so today, without the use of any cement or bricks, we strive to construct a bridge between the youth and Parliament using the following materials: inclusivity, representation, education, communication, simplification, and interaction. As such, will safeguard the well-being of our motherland in its entirety. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Raphael. When I was told that you are going to be the director of programs, I was very excited, especially on the launch of Youth Parliamentary Caucus. I said, yes, today's my day. I'm going to invite the speaker. Opportunity has come. But then protocol comes in. Protocol demands that I can't go that far. At this point in time, I request the acting clerk, Mr. Roy Ngulube, who in turn will invite the speaker to deliver her speech.
Good morning once again. Hello, hello? Hello? Okay. Madam Speaker, I had received a request from one or two members of the caucus to make an appeal to the presiding officers. I refused. I felt that I should not do it. Excuse me. But having listened to the poem, I think I feel compelled and repentant to say it. I feel compelled to do so. I think the young parliamentarians sometimes feel suffocated in the House because they are not given understanding and patience by the presiding officers, and sometimes presiding officers prefer to call upon the more experienced, and they feel sidelined. And even when they are coming up, they are saying, even you as officers of Parliament, you are not patient with us. So now I've been compelled to make this appeal on their behalf, that maybe when they indicate to speak, they should not be seen in the lens of political parties that they belong to, but as young parliamentarians, so that they can express themselves better. So having repented myself with that poem, it's now my rare honor, Madam Speaker, to call upon you to address the gathering and obviously to officially launch the caucus. I thank you.
The mere fact that we are all here, that means we are either youth or youthful at heart. So let's give ourselves a big hand for big youth. Viva youth, viva! Viva! Viva youth, viva! Viva! Now for the request of when the youthful members of parliament indicate, of course as long as you indicate, you are going to be recognized. And now that you have requested, even when you don't indicate, you will be recognized. So that means you should be always ready to say something, to discuss and debate on issues that are being discussed in the House. The Honorable Malungo Attracted Chisangano, MP, First Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia. Honorable Frank Moses Moyo, MP, Honorable Second Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia, Honorable Cabinet and Provincial Ministers present, Honorable Jean Chisenga, MP, Chairperson of the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable Members of Parliament, Mr. Martin Chogong, Secretary General of the Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU, Mr. Roy Ngulube, Acting Clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia, Ms. Nalucha Ziva, Country Director, Action Aid Zambia, representatives of partners of Action Aid Zambia, the representatives from the Norwegian Church Aid and Dan Church Aid Joint Country Program, the representatives from Oxfam in Southern Africa, Zambia, staff of the National Assembly of Zambia, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good morning again. It gives me pleasure to address you this morning on the occasion of the official launch of the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus, ZYPC, being held under the theme, Bridging the Gap Between Parliament and the Youth. The theme speaks to the fact that parliaments are key in increasing youth representation and participation in parliament and other institutions of governance. Honorable members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, from the outset, I wish to state that I'm elated to officiate at this event. This is because the establishment of the ZYPC was partially as a result of my commitment to participate in the I Say Yes to Youth in Parliament campaign during the 143rd Inter-Parliamentary Union Assembly held in Madrid, Spain from the 26th to the 30th of November 2021. One of the 6 pledges under the campaign entails support to youth channels in Parliament, such as youth caucuses and committees. In this regard, I am optimistic that the establishment of this caucus will immensely contribute towards achieving the objectives of I Say Yes to Youth in Parliament campaign. Honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that globally, youth participation and representation in institutional political processes and policy making remains relatively low. Few youth are found in parliaments, public administration, and decision-making positions. As a result, their participation in many cases has been relegated to places such as social media. In view of the foregoing, the low level of youth participation in parliament and other decision-making processes not only leads to marginalization and loss of confidence in our political systems, but also an incredible waste of creative ideas and skills. With this, promoting the participation of youth in politics and other decision-making processes has become a priority worldwide. To exemplify this, allow me to draw your attention to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. You will note that over 1/3 of the 169 targets of the SDGs relate to young people and the importance of their empowerment, participation, and well-being. This underscores the critical role that the youth ought to play in order to achieve the SDGs and socio-economic development. Honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it has therefore become imperative for Parliament to establish platforms like caucuses for youth participation in political processes. As such, Parliaments are expected to invoke their constitutional functions of representation, oversight, and lawmaking to establish linkages between the youth and the youth-related organizations, decision-making institutions, including the executive. This will contribute towards strengthening national, regional, and international democracies and enable governments to tackle various challenges, thereby achieving developmental goals. Honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is in the light of the foregoing that the National Assembly of Zambia established the Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus, ZYPC. The caucus is aimed at providing a platform for the youth to engage the institution of Parliament on issues that affect them. In doing so, the caucus will be bridging the gap between Parliament and the youth in order to increase youth participation, which resonates well with the theme of this event. The caucus has 4 focus areas, namely, 1, capacity building of youthful parliamentarians to enable them execute their mandate effectively and efficiently with due regard to the interests of the youth. 2, advocates to urge the government and developmental partners to develop and implement youth-responsive policies and programs. 3, promote dialogue among political parties and communities on youth issues. And last but not the least, promote peer-to-peer learning between members of Parliament from the Zambian Parliament and their colleagues from other jurisdictions on how to advance youth matters. By implementing activities and programs around these focus areas, I have no doubt that this will result in tremendous headway in furthering the interests of young people in Parliament and the nation at large. Further, I am also positive that this moment will give all of us the impetus to rise to the occasion and deliver tangible results for the young people in and outside Parliament. Let me emphasize that for this to be achievable, it is critical for all stakeholders, including the caucus and other organizations, to cooperate and work as one. As such, I would like to reiterate that the ZYPC provides an important platform for the youth and youth-related organizations to freely engage on any issues that affect them. If there is need for policy and legal reform, for example, the caucus is one of the channels they can use to submit these proposals. I therefore join the acting clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia in pledging management support to the work of the ZYPC, as well as in appealing to our cooperating partners to continue to afford the caucus the much-needed support, which is necessary for it to achieve its objectives. With concerted efforts and working together, we will advance the interests of the youth in Parliament and the nation at large. Honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I wind up, let me recognize and thank all honorable members of Parliament who have found time to be present for this launch, and not forgetting many partners that have joined us during this event. Let me also place on record my thanks to the Interparliamentary Union for the continued and consistent support to the National Assembly of Zambia. This is evident from their input in various parliamentary activities, including today's launch event. Let me also appreciate Action Aid Zambia, who as rightly indicated by the chairperson of the caucus, have been very instrumental from the inception of the caucus. With these few remarks, it is now my singular honor and privilege to declare Zambia Youth Parliamentary Caucus officially launched. I thank you.
Thank you so very much, Madam Speaker, for the speech. As we are coming to the end of the program, I would request that we be upstanding as Madam Speaker leads us to the front of the main building for a group photo. We shall be upstanding as the high table leads us to the front of the main building for group photo. Thereafter, we'll have snacks at the restaurant. Then that marks the end of the program. I thank you.